Women. I'm here to talk to Claire Roberts, who's the CEO of Fathom Five, about our new collaboration, which involves AI training for women. Welcome, Claire.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thanks for having me. Very excited.
Tell me a little bit about your background before we go into the course and how people can benefit.
Yeah, sure. So I spent sort of 25 years working in big change, so big IT change. And I spent the last 8 years of my career working for a big AI engineering company called Arm. So they were historically just an engineering company. And then, of course, as AI became really big, they have massively transformed themselves into an AI engineering company. So just gave me a really great first and very early look at AI. And it also introduced me, I think it showed me firsthand, that as exciting as and innovative as AI can be, it can also have a massive impact on culture and values. And I saw that firsthand, both in the companies that we were working with, in the US with the companies we were working with, and in the company that I worked with as well. So then last year, we made a big, bold move, and we kind of said, okay, we're in our mid-40s now. You know, we're not getting any younger. If we're ever going to try this, let's try it now. And we said, let's run our own company and let's see if we can do this ourselves, put all of our experience into action, and help all the people that we think are potentially not being helped. And that sounds a little bit philanthropic, but it's genuinely the truth. It's been an absolute joy over this last year to just reach out to communities and to groups and to people like your wonderful group and say, what is it that you guys need? And is there anything that we're doing that can help with that? Because I think AI has such potential to help, but it needs to be in the right people's hands. And that's what we're all about.
Absolutely. So we're supporting a female founder with this collab as well, which I absolutely love. So, for example, we know recent research from Harvard Business School are talking about women being really slow adopters to AI, and when we talk with our focus groups, people are using ChatGPT, they might be using Copilot or even Claude or any one of those, but they're literally using it to the minimum. So we kind of want to get under the skin of that, under the bonnet of AI. So tell me why it's so important that we take women on this journey.
Two really big things here. So to your first point, we're just not getting trained as women, as a community. We're just not getting trained. So we've been running training now for the last 8 months, and more than 70% of everybody that books on to do our courses are still men. And we're out there talking to women's groups all the time, and they see the need, but they just don't have the interest. And I think for a lot of women as well, they also maybe don't have the time. So a lot of men spend their evenings playing with AI and coming on courses and talking with us. A lot of women don't have that kind of time. They don't have the time in their day jobs, and they certainly don't have the time when they get home from work. So I think there's two things going on. There's definitely a lack of interest. AI feels like an IT, it feels like a male coded thing. It still feels like it's something that men are having a go at. It feels like it's something techie. It comes with a very, heavy engineering background. So it doesn't feel like it's a particularly female coded thing. And yet it hugely is. And so naturally, I think men are more interested in it. But I think we're getting this problem where women are just getting left behind a little bit because we haven't got the interest, we haven't got the time. Men are picking up these skills and they're running with it. And I think from a career perspective, that is just it's going to leave us behind a little bit. That would be a big enough problem if it was just a tool to help you in your career. I think the second thing that we really worry about is that the way that AI is designed and governed today doesn't necessarily benefit everybody equally. So the fundamentals, and we're really big on teaching this through our courses, but the fundamentals of AI is that it's taking a load of data about us, it uses that data to try and understand us, and then it uses that understanding to recreate and to be able to reinforce what it's learned. So if it learns from all of our data that men have always been hired into senior jobs, then its understanding is that men are the preferred candidate for a senior job. It has no concept of equity. It has no concept of what we would like it to be. And so it has the ability, if we're using it to make decisions, to just rinse and repeat that over and over again. So what we get is all of this kind of historical power structure just being reinforced, but really fast and at scale, and not necessarily in a way that we can see. And so we've got this kind of fundamental issue with AI, that if we don't intervene in that, if we're not testing for that, if we're not thinking about that, then we're potentially going to see progress of women in the workplace dying away. And not because anybody is necessarily saying let's not hire women. It's just that the algorithms that start to become a huge part of decision making in organizations will naturally favor men potentially. And so we can change all of this, of course. It's a system. We build it, we can design it, we can govern it, but we need women in there. So we need women interested in it. We need women practicing with it and experimenting with it. And when a company introduces it, we need a really diverse group of people that are testing it and going, this is great, but how come when it writes things, it always writes in he? Yeah. And how come it never mentions they when it's talking about genders? Why is it always he and she? Like, how can we change this? How can we make sure this is more reflective? And so we can have that kind of great impact on it, but only if we're involved. And so if we've got women that aren't necessarily interested, aren't getting trained, and we've got all these men whose leadership careers are getting elevated because they're using AI, women just aren't in the right place to be influencing. And, you know, I say women, I mean all people that come from diverse backgrounds.
And I think what's really important, like if you're watching this, it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, I need to learn AI because I'm in tech, because this technology is going to affect everybody's job in every single profession, wherever you are. Yeah. So it's not a case of, oh, I'm going to learn AI because I'm going to learn how to write, you know, algorithms or build big LLMs or anything like that.
Absolutely.
It's about that. Isn't it? It's about understanding what's coming down the track and how that's going to affect you and your ability to future-proof your career. Do you want to add anything more to that?
No, that is exactly right. And I hear this all the time. It's the, you know, I don't need to use AI because I don't really deal with data, or, you know, I'm not interested in coding. And it's like, no. This is about how AI makes you a better project manager, a better marketer, a better HR leader, a better PR manager, a better product designer. It's gonna be in everybody's jobs in some respect.
Absolutely. And that's why we're so passionate about getting as many women as we can upskilled. So one of the things I'm going to ask before we talk about the calls, you know, there is obviously this fear that's going on at the moment that AI is going to take everybody's jobs. Can you just calm the nation down a little bit on that one?
Okay, so this needs to be thought about in 3 different questions. Can AI do my job as it stands? So is the skill that is the fundamental part of my job, is that a skill that AI is designed to take over? Could my job be enhanced with AI? So, because if I'm not enhancing what I do with AI, somebody else could be. And then the third one is, what are those big differentiator skills to AI? My human skills, my critical thinking skills, my judgment skills, my people skills. So if we start with the first one, if your job is predominantly data processing, doing something very administrational, then you're probably in the highest risk camp. Because yes, AI is going to come along, and there are going to be lots of organizations that are going to say, if we could do some of what you're doing with AI, let's see how we can augment your role. So there's going to be risk definitely there. And that's why people that are in this camp need to get trained and need to start thinking about those human skills. The people in the middle, these are the people that I think need to stop worrying quite so much. If you have got great skills and experience, those skills and experience are going to see you through. Somebody with your same skills and experience using AI is going to suddenly elevate themselves. So if you've got the skills and experience and you can augment yourself with AI, it's just like a rocket booster. So is somebody without your skills and experience going to take your job even with AI? No, because you need those skills and experience to put into the AI. You know what I mean? I could write you a marketing plan today, but your marketing lady is going to look at it and rip it up and go, well, that's a load of rubbish. It has no basis in, you know, my 10 years of marketing understanding. But your marketing lady using AI, she's going to supercharge what she can do. She's going to do it faster, to a better quality, deeper research, better writing. So can I take her job? Not a chance. We need is the people with those skills and experience being supercharged with AI. They're the people that are going to do really well. Yeah. And then that third camp is so important, because we have spent years talking about soft skills, and it's quite derogatory. Yeah. And we also associate all of those soft skills with women.
Yeah.
you know what I mean, judgment and difficult conversations and people management and all of these soft skills. These are not going to be the soft skills of the future. These are going to be the differentiating skills, because let's think 10 years down the line and let's imagine that AI has been hugely successful and it has taken away all of the dross and all of the busy grunt work. What you're left with is a workforce of people who are recognized because they can oversee what AI does, they can think strategically, and they can manage human interactions, the things that AI is never going to be doing. So if you've got those skills, now's the time to be supercharging them. So I think alongside thinking about your AI skills, I really think as women, we can start to actually take a step forward. If we're, you know, if we get on the pitch with AI, we could massively start to take a step forward, because all of these soft skills that a lot of us have naturally, these are the things that are going to be real leadership skills, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So huge potential.
I love the example about marketing. So, for example, you're quite right. I could go into my ChatGPT and I could ask it to generate something, and it's my experience that refines what it's spat out over time. It's such a great example. So come and talk to me a little bit about the training course, because what I think is so great is we've got evening courses and lunchtime courses, so we can try to fit them in around work, but it's going beyond the bonnet, isn't it, of kind of ChatGPT and Copilot. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what we're going to learn.
Okay, so fundamentally, the course is designed to hit 3 big markers: technology, trust, and tools. There is so much training on the market geared around tools, and most of it is sponsored by the people that make the tools. So you're just sitting through a whole load of sales pitches, and I've done so many of these courses, and I tell you what, if you get to the end of the course and the quiz has got the name of a product as the answer in the quiz, you've just wasted an hour of your life listening to a sales pitch. Yeah. So there is a lot of free stuff talking about how to use tools. But the problem with AI is not how to use tools, it's understanding when not to use them, how to use them responsibly, how to use them in a way that is meaningful. And if you're going to do that, then you've got to understand the technology. And so, yeah, we do these 3 things. We talk about the technology properly. And so many courses, I think, don't dare do this. I think people are worried that this is like a highly technical thing. But in truth, we spend the whole of our first week, it's a 6-week course, the whole of the first week, we answer all of the really difficult questions. We get all of the difficult jargon out of the way. And by the end of the first week, everybody on the course goes, oh my God, I feel like I could actually explain what AI is. Yeah. Like, how many people actually feel confident to say, I know what an algorithm is. I actually understand how AI is working. I get how it's learning now. So few people, and I mean really senior people, so few people can easily describe that to you. And it is the joy of week 1, is this group of people that came into the course knowing nothing or knowing quite a lot, and they get to the end of it going, oh my God, I actually feel like I could explain to my IT guy what AI really is. So that is week 1, and that is so important, because once you understand what's going on under the bonnet, week 2, which is all about how it can go wrong, is obvious. Yep. Now, week 2 on its own, if I just sit here and tell you all the things that AI can't do, all of the risks, all the ethical concerns, you'd sit there going, well, why? Like, I don't understand why we'd ever use it. But when you've got that grounding in how it's built and how it's learning, it just makes sense. It just follows on, because, and everybody in the session is kind of going, okay, well, let's go back to when we talked about what's going on in the neural network. I get it now. Of course, you can't explain why it's making its decisions because of this over here. So we have these really, really lovely conversations. And week 2 is very much about that. Week 2 is very conversational, and it is very, let's tackle all of the tricky subjects. We talk about ethics. We talk about the different ways that AI is designed, the different people that might be designing it. We talk about how it goes wrong, and we talk about long-term impacts of the way that we're using it and what that could really mean for lots of different people, for everybody. And I think you come out of week 2 feeling like, okay, I really now understand the responsibility I have. If I'm going to use this brilliantly, it's got to be within the context of how dangerous it can be. Yeah. And that then sets us up for week 3 and 4, because week 3 and 4 is just power skills on speed. We spend the whole of week 3 teaching you how to create anything with AI. We look across about 20 different tools, and with this great context of how it's really working and how it can go wrong, we then apply that to say, well, let's just try it. let's try this out with lots of different tools, let's create tons of things. And we look across ideas, researching, we look across creating presentations in about 7 different brilliant ways. We look at data-driven decision making, how to synthesize data really, really quickly, how to vibe code to make your Excel spreadsheets perfect, how to then turn all of that into really brilliant reports and make decisions on it. And then we look at how you can use it to coach yourself, to develop yourself, and to coach people around you, people in your team. So it's rather than just throwing a load of random tools, we kind of try to follow the pattern of what you're doing in your work and say, here's a load of great ideas for how AI might support that. And then week 4, we kind of go a bit crazy. And we say, okay, well, now let's look at, now that you really understand this, let's look at what it can really do. Like, let's take it as far as we can take it. We look at custom GPTs and Google Gems. We look at apps like Lovable and Replit and Manus, where we can completely reimagine a website in seconds. We can create whole applications. Like, it's just so exciting. It's so exciting what you can do. And I think you get to the end of week 4 and you're like, how has this only been 4 weeks and I'm now building things? So then we spend the whole of week 5 letting people work together to actually tackle some solutions. So they bring their ideas in and we gather those ideas over the 4 weeks. And in week 5, we say, which of these ideas are we going to build? People choose which teams they want to go into. And then they use all of the tools and all of the skills that we've given them to build stuff. And we just help them to build things. And they leave with prototypes, they leave with MVPs. Sometimes they leave with completely fully built little apps. It is just great. And then they share what they've done and everybody kind of, uses each other's and they test them out and then they take them back and they see how they work in the real world. So they're kind of really getting proper skills. And it's really great seeing some of the things that people build, like really great. Anything from things that are helping them plan their kids' times to applications in the workplace that are going to completely change what they've been doing. Huge complicated Excel spreadsheets suddenly become this really nice built app that's doing it all for you. It's so exciting.
And the language, we understand the language, the bots, the agents, what all of these different things mean. We come out of it with that as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that stuff becomes easy by the end of it. I think because you're building proper knowledge and you're building proper understanding all the way through, and then you're hands-on trying these things, actually the jargon starts to go away and starts to not be quite so scary by the end. And it just becomes about, if I can imagine it and if I can describe it really well, then I can produce it. And you get that confidence. If I can imagine it, if I can describe it really well, if I've got great prompting skills, then I can produce it. And we can do that with anything.
Fantastic. So, thank you so much, Claire. I'm so excited. I'm personally going on this training as well, because I need to future-proof my own career. But for those of you watching, I hope this has encouraged you to really think about what you're going to do in terms of learning more about AI, and hopefully you're going to join us. If you are a member of our community, our We Are Tech Women community, we can give you a very special discount. If you're one of our Tech Women 100 or Rising Star or any of our award winners, again, we can talk to you about discounts as well. But Claire, thank you so much. I'm so excited for this partnership and where it's going to go. My dream, I want to upskill thousands, if not 1 million women in AI to make sure that we've got a seat at the table. So I'm excited we get to do it together. Brilliant. Okay, so you can find out details on the website. No doubt you're watching this from our form, but if not, you can visit wearetechwomen.com and you can find out more. Thank you, Claire.
Thanks, Vanessa.